getting set for Game 2 of our semifinal doubleheader. Water Dogs have already punched their ticket to next Sunday's championship game. Chaos and Archers about to go at it to finish up that championship bracket. Here it is, our Cash App championship bracket. And you see what happened last week in quarterfinals. Chaos doing what they always do. Terrible regular season, and then they put it in gear in September. They've advanced to take on the Archers this afternoon. Ryan Boyle, Paul Carcaterra, Chris Cotter back with you. And what is going on with the Chaos? Every year, this year they're 2-8. They're not going anywhere. Lo and behold, they're in the semifinals.
2-8, but there's belief that this team could win the Cash App PLL championship.
Yeah.
Why? They won last year, same cast of characters. Andy Towers said it best this week. The regular season is for kids.
That's the way it always works out for them, and they're playing their best lacrosse here in September. We would expect nothing less. Archers also putting it together right time of the year.
Yeah, this feels a little bit different. I know it's Archers Chaos kind of yet again, but talking to the Archers players, feel like they have a better plan going into this game for some defensive adjustments the Chaos might throw them. And now they've got Connor Fields playing attack and playing at an extremely high level. You look last week, 5 points in that quarterfinal matchup, 2 goals and 3 assists. Frankly, they just have a higher ceiling with him in attack. He's another guy that can break down a long stick, a long pole matchup. They didn't really have that previously when they had Manny and Holman down there. He just brings a totally different element. It took him a little bit to kind of get going, but you look at his last 3 games, the production card off the charts, 9 goals, 4 assists, rewarding Coach Bates for that adjustment.
All right, let's go through the Archers starting lineup powered by Ticketmaster.
Let's start at the defense. Graham Hosick, reigning Defensive Player of the Year. Last year was a finalist. This year, he'll be matched up on Josh Byrne. That's one to watch. In the midfield, how do you not talk about Tom Schreiber, best midfielder in the world? He makes so many plays, especially feeding his teammates. Connor Fields, mentioned him. Grant Ament finally looked all the way healthy last week. A lot of long dodges. Expect more of that today.
You know, Kark, when you talk about the Chaos, it all starts in net with Blaze Reard.
Yeah, that's Connor Fields, college teammate at the University of Albany. He was incredible in the quarterfinals when they defeated Chrome. He had 82% save percentage on the day, only allowed the 3 goals. He's the reigning league MVP from 2021, won a PLL championship, and he is the single reason why, if you're a Chaos fan, you believe you can repeat.
Chaos lineup powered by Ticketmaster as we take a look at Blaze and his teammates in the huddle.
Yeah, you got Matt Reese, the long-rangey guy, flanked by Jared Newman, and Jack Rowlett's their #1 cover guy. Mac O'Keefe can drop it from deep, but Dane Smith, the best facilitating midfielder statistically in the league. And then the attack, all Canadians. That means don't leave them on the doorstep. They will finish, and Josh Byrne is a human highlight reel.
Nobody gets you fired up for lacrosse more than Andy Towers, head coach of Chaos. He's standing by right now with Dana Boyle.
And he doesn't even drink that much coffee, he told me. Coach Towers, you were pretty clear this week that it's not about the Archers, it's about the Chaos. So how do you make sure you write the ending you want at the end of the game today?
Well, we talked in the locker room about schemes being secondary, right? We want to make sure that we're winning all the blue-collar areas of the game. We want to make sure we're getting back on the ride. We want to make sure we're getting out on the clear. We want to make sure we're communicating on the defensive end, and we're sharing the ball on the offensive end and shooting smart.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Let's go.
You know it. Let's go. KAT.
There he is.
Saw him earlier this summer in Denver, and he just had surgery on a torn meniscus on his knee, and he had a Band-Aid on it. It was like, let's go.
He's the only guy in D.C. that has bigger arms than you.
And that's, I know what? I'm fine with that. Max Adler, Justin Inacio. Max Adler's got some pretty big arms, too. He used to work out with him in West Hartford at the New York Sports Club there. The crew. Adler's coming on, too. He had a torn tricep early on in the year, and he's really starting to play his best lacrosse, as he did last year at the end of the year. But Justin Inacio, rookie out of Ohio State, wins the opening draw. As Ryan said in the open, you know, we've seen this shift now where Connor Fields is starting at attack, and it's really changed the outlook for this Atlas, or for this Archers team, though, over the last couple of weeks. You'll see Holman run out of the box. You'll see Manny run out of the box. You'll see even Grant Ament run out of the box at times.
Yeah, but the thing with Fields at attack now is he dodges a long stick, and he's just as comfortable going against a short stick or a long stick, where a lot of these other guys aren't primary dodgers that are going through the box. He can do it from anywhere.
Tom Schreiber, 26. Once again, midfielder of the year in the PLL. We'll keep an eye on him. Will Manning up top. Amon got the blue shoes. That's how you can tell. Tries to feed a pass into Connor Fields. It's deflected. And it was last touched by the Archers, so it'll be Chaos ball.
And one thing of note there, Chaos are putting a short stick on Matt Moore. So they're electing to put Reese on Holman. Watch for Matt Moore.
Amen. There's a long pole right in front of the crease. He opted to hold on to it.
That's interesting what Ryan just brought up, because I think Matt Moore's considerably a bigger dodging threat than Holman. Holman's a phenomenal shooter and offensive player, but from a dodging perspective, Moore is more of the dangerous option there.
And speaking with defensive coordinator Jamie Hanford, he wanted to eliminate the two-man between Holman and Schreiber specifically by keeping Reese there. Feels like Holman's a better, more slick in those two-man games, but that's what you give out more when you short stick Matt Moore.
High and tight. Wow. You know, you'll say, Ryan, well, he didn't beat the short stick, but you get the leverage game as a shooter against a shorty that you won't get against a long pole.
You've got to keep your eyes on this matchup because Matt Moore hasn't seen a short stick for weeks. The book has been put a long pole on him because early in the season when he was on fire, that's exactly what you saw. You can't really slide to that cart because he didn't run by McKay. He just leans in, gets his hands free, and lets it fly.
That's the all-time leading point scorer at the University of Virginia. He never sees a short stick. Today he sees a short stick, and he wins the leverage game. The short stick can't reach out and disrupt that shot.
Adler wins possession. Back to his goaltender, Blaze Reardon. Now we come the other way with Kyle Jackson. First time we get to see Chaos 6-on-6. Here's Josh Byrne. So many of these players missed the beginning of the year because of the indoor league, Josh Byrne being among them. Very heavy Canadian flavor with this Chaos club. Kluche. Big physical presence. Tough to knock off his line. Scoop shot,
No,
scores!
no,
Oh!
no.
Oh! Get it on SportsCenter Top 10. Yep.
Austin Kaut, that's what everybody else was thinking. How in the world? Come on. Come on.
Here's the deal.
I mean, come on.
Here's the deal. He is a big-time lefty power dodger. He keeps it in his strong hand and just whips that behind the hip. That ball was screaming, too. You can't defend that.
A ton of velocity and pinpoint accuracy on that.
We saw it when he led North Carolina to a national championship in an improbable run. Those exact same types of plays. Venancio forcing Reardon to go down and make the save. Possession stays with Archers. What a beautiful sight. The sun has come out here in D.C. Rain all day yesterday, last night, this morning, heavy threat. Now we got the sun. Amen over to Moore, the goal scorer so far for Archers. Still got that short stick matchup. Gets to the middle of the field, but can't get his hands free. Back to his left. Schreiber, one extra pass. Amen. That hit off the pipe. Chaos win the battle of the ball at the end line. It'll be their ball. Glacini trying to clear it. Now he gets it back to a long pull.
10 seconds to get it over here.
Yeah, Reardon's going to have to make something happen in a hurry. Make it. Gilman makes the save. Denied Ryan Smith that time.
The one thing that I'm noticing when you watch the Chaos, they're not just dodgers in terms of getting to their strong hands with a heavy Canadian influence. They are body dodgers. They get it. You saw Kluche that time, Ryan Smith. They will get into your body And you'll see defenders oftentimes are backpedaling because these are big dudes.
And Cloutier is 220. Ryan Smith is 220. Chase Frazier is over 200 pounds. Fields. That's a good matchup to keep an eye on. Jared Newman, one of the captains of this Chaos team, on him. Cutter, well, man, he can't get the pass to him. Ament was too wide with it.
An over and back violation.
McKay trying to move quickly. McKay was a goal scorer in college at Vermont. Now a defensive midfielder. A lot of former offensive players at the college level make that switch to D-midi at the pros. Byrne uses a McKay pick, got his hands free enough. Behind the back, scores!
Absurd.
You ready, man? Buckle up, people.
What a start.
I said in the beginning of this game, when we highlighted the lineups, Josh Byrne, Sports Center top 10 type player. Chris Cloutier comes to the party. Fellow Canadian Josh Byrne, show-stopping BTBs. DC is absolutely lit, and the Chaos are up by 1.
Chaos have been the proverbial thorn in the Archer's side over the last 2 years, knocking them out in 2020. Then last year, Chaos again knocking the Archers out of the postseason. Dane Smith scoring a 2-point goal. And it's a Chaos team that has levied disappointment on the Archers in the postseason. And you look at the regular season, Andy Towers is 6-17 in the last 3 years in the regular season. Playoffs 6-1 with the championship last year. The team comes to play in September, and they've come to play so far today in semifinal number 2. Winner takes on the Water Dogs for the Cash App Championship trophy next week. Dana, what do you got for us?
You guys were talking about the mentality. It doesn't matter what you do in the regular season, but the playoffs matter. I spoke to Max Adler, the face-off specialist for the Chaos, and he said he treats the postseason like a national tournament in wrestling. It doesn't matter the record before. It doesn't matter his face-off percentage. It's just having that mistake amnesia and just forgetting the regular season and being dialed in. And I don't know, those first few goals looked pretty nice to me.
Yeah, Max is a pretty intense dude. I think he shares it with his teammates, shares it with his head coach.
Intense, I think of wrestlers.
Yeah.
Face-off specialists are locked in like wrestlers.
No question about it.
You're on an island.
Kyle Jackson tried to get it to him, couldn't do it. Other way for the Archers.
The Archers dodged a bullet there. Graham Hossack actually lost his stick on that possession.
Out of the box, Schreiber shoots. Reardon goes out and makes the save. Rebound goes wide. We'll get an inside the crease violation here. It'll go the other way, Chaos ball.
In a lot of cases, teams save their best offensive midfielder for last coming out of the sub box. Archers, they call it rocket. They send Schreiber first where he can aggressively attack the defense before they're set up.
That's a great point. But you see Blaze Reardon in the cage, how locked in he is, right? 82% last week. If you're a goalie, you save 50%, you're doing your job. 82 and allowing 3 in a playoff game is ridiculous. And I've seen Schreiber shoot high from that same spot. The quickness of Big Blaze, insane.
Dane Smith, he's an assist machine, 92. Kluche wants to put his shoulder into somebody, and he does. Now he backs off. Up top to O'Keefe, just wide.
You and I were talking in the break, and I want to ask you this question. You said it's hard for goalies to get in sync against the Chaos. Why?
Well, they don't force low angle shots. Most of them are kind of with their stick towards the inside. In a lot of cases, they'd rather just kill the clock and kind of send it into the corner than take a bad shot late. And then you saw Cloutier and Burns, they shoot from like awkward angles, backhands.
O'Keefe shooting just inside the two-point arc.
Behind the back. They don't give you a lot of just gimme saves.
There's a lot of deception.
Yeah, they don't give you a lot of gimme saves so you can get in rhythm.
Cloutier, will he do it again? He does!
There it is, right? Like, how do you track that? That's a joke.
When you go in the backyard or you go out to practice, it's not like your buddy is practicing these shots very often, if at all. So in a lot of cases, this is the only time you see this type of shot. You know, speaking with head coach Andy Towers, he said, we need Cloutier. We need him more production. He needs to give us at least 2 today. Meanwhile, he's got 2, and both are highlight reel worthy plays.
Yeah, they got Cloutier. And let me tell you, this is improv ability at its highest degree. Like, you can't sense that out if you're an offensive player, and until the moment, because he's a lefty, they hedge and force him right. He keeps it in his left hand. He never puts it in his right hand. He backhands shovel shot.
Very Canadian of him. And how about the placement on both of those shots? Perfect. Adler wins the faceoff, but he gets the ball knocked out of his stick.
Yeah, that was Hossack. Inacio had a violation on the previous faceoff, so he couldn't take that one. Archers have the luxury of trotting up Hossack, basically concedes the faceoff and just tries to go for the takeaway.
That's a good point. If you have a faceoff violation, you got to sit on the next faceoff. So Hossack had to take it. But all's good that ends well for the Archers. They have possession. Schreiber. Ray pestering him. That's a great shot from Will Manning. Just misses. He's pissed off at himself. Didn't get that on cage. 6+ minute scoring drought for Archers. Amen looking to change that. Ambler, nowhere to go. Shot clock inside of 10. Good defense by Chaos. Amen's gonna have to force something. And he does. It's traffic. Boy, hits the top of the net and rolls off the back. Reardon made the save, but he had no idea where the rebound was going.
You know, we talk so much about these chaos offensive players. Blaze Reardon is playing off the charts, but defensively, they have been so good and such an improved unit from the middle of the season to now. Off ball, there were times in the beginning of the season they were a disaster.
Yeah, Kirk, you're talking about the defense. A big point of emphasis coming in from the sideline is body, not stick, and I think that's an important point to reference. If you're a young player, play defense with your body like you would in basketball. Square up your offense. It makes it really hard for them to make a shot.
Gilman makes the save, picks up the rebound. Now we're going the other way quickly. Outstanding outlet pass. Connors. He can shoot, opts not to. Here's Moore. He's got a shorty on him, as we might see all afternoon long. That's going to be advantage to Moore. Got a really good angle, good look at it. Just couldn't get it on target. Archers have had a couple of good looks that they've gotten, but they haven't been able to put the ball on cage very often. Just that one goal early on. Ambler. Uses a pick. Schreiber inside. Just wide.
He's normally good for that.
Yeah, the last two, Schreiber and Manny, normally ones they cash in on.
Shot clock violation, too. Or they just shoot it into the corner, set up their defense, set up their ride.
And part of that sometimes with Blaze, you feel like you have to have the perfect shot.
Exactly. You look at the shot placement for Schreiber there. It's low and away, but it's, you know, even 5-10 inches off that pipe, because you want that perfect shot to go in the corner, because Blaze Reardon is seeing the ball. That lacrosse ball looks like a beach ball for him in the playoffs.
Smith. To Dane Smith. Got two Smiths on this midfield line, Ryan and Dane. Kluche. Just putting a shoulder into his defender. Now back to his left. Help comes. Ball didn't get there. Deflected off his teammate. That's Josh Byrne.
Good time to go for LeClaire here.
So it got Dane Smith checking him, stuck on the other end of the field.
I should have thought he could have just swept right to the middle there.
Archer's clean. Will, clean that for me, thank you.
Dane Smith is stuck on this side of the field, offensive midfielder. And he's on Moore. Now the help comes, but Moore can't get it on Cage. The accuracy just isn't there early on for Archers. Final minute, final seconds of this first quarter. Here's LeClaire. Forces a shot. Now Abbott picks it up, picks up the junk, but can't get anything going. One final chance for Archers. LeClaire, high off the deflection, nothing doing. Finally, the horn sounds, frenetic activity in front of the net for Archers. As the first quarter comes to an end. Eventful, and once again, chaos in September coming to the fore. Andy Towers has to be happy with the way his team has come out to play. Regular season is for kids. Postseason is for Chaos and Archers for the third season in a row. They meet in the playoffs so far. It's been Kluche and the Chaos with the upper hand.
Hear that? That's a game update. Live scores, real-time highlights, and breaking news at your fingertips. Personalize your PLL experience with the things you care about. Access deep playoff analysis of your favorite teams and players. Head to the App Store and Google Play right now to download the new PLL app.
PLL on ESPN is brought to you in part by Events DC. Beautiful day in our nation's capital. Fans out in support. Whipsnakes fan a little disappointed with the game he saw earlier in the day as Water Dogs won to advance to the championship game. Tweet from Sarah Griffin. Literally everyone watching that last goal. Yep, by Chris Kluche. Could be any one of the two goals by Kluche. Austin Kaut, backup goalie. Couldn't believe it.
For me, though, this first quarter is all about the inability to hit the back of the net for the Archers. They're the best in the league coming into the Cash App playoffs, shooting at 31%. Today, 9%.
Yeah. And they've gone 10-plus minutes, Clark, without scoring in this game. Now, Inaccio's able to pick up the ground ball. Let's see what they can do with this possession to start the second. And it ends up in Connor Fields' cross to start it.
And you think about some of their misses, they're off of assists, right?
Yes.
So that's also like exactly what you want to do to attack Reardon and their bread and butter.
Fields forced him to the middle of the field. And he got his hands free. How about that? That'll help.
We highlighted him in the open. Just a different ceiling with him playing attack. Took him a little bit to warm up. He showed his dodging prowess there in this two-man game.
Connor, you've played a lot of midfield this season. Now you're back to your natural attack spot. How does it feel?
Feels good. You know, obviously growing up, always being an attackman, I feel more comfortable knowing the spacing and kind of where to be. So I'm pumped to be back and hope it helps our team.
Why does it look like you're always shot ready, even when a defender's draped on you?
When you got teammates like I do, they can feed you at any moment, so you always got to be ready.
Thank you, Connor. Sun Chlorella powering our athletes under the helmet. Archers get back to within one. Mad Max wins it to himself. Quickly. Gilman made the save. Robbing Chase Frazier.
And for all the highlight reel goals for Chaos in the first quarter, like Adam Gittleman was steady. He had 3 saves. That's his 4th. Made the saves he was supposed to make.
Yeah, you can't stop those ridiculous shots by Cloutier and Byrne.
Amber loses it momentarily, gets it back. Here's Will Manning. Amen. Oh, that hurt. Blocked on the play by Jack Rowlett. He's still down.
Yeah, he's hurt. They got to blow the whistle here. Blow the whistle.
Yeah, Glacini gets possession for Chaos, and they blow the whistle. That was a rocket from Amen, and Rowlett took it. Flush. Andy Towers coming out to see what his close defenseman is conditioned. Let's take a look at 99. And then he got hit by his own teammate. I'm not sure whether it was a shot or whether it was the hit afterward. Oh, he got it right in the backside. He is up and walking that off. Now that had to hurt, but hopefully that's one of those initially where you get in the fleshy part of your bum.
If you're going to get hit anywhere, right? And when he's holding his neck, I was worried about that.
Yes, like that really hurts. It might have gotten on the tailbone a little bit. That might be why, but if you're going to get hit anywhere, get hit on the backside like that. Don't sit, though. All right. That might not have been my modus operandi. Bruise on the backside, but whatever works for you.
Paging Dr. Cotter.
You'd be better off finding a proctologist for that one. I'll steer clear of it.
The ball was loose that whole time, correct? Chaos, so fresh clock right now.
Shot never yes.
Shot never got there. They possess it here and I kill it. New clock.
All
right, Matty Palem saved us from that conversation. We got to listen in
I
on
like
his
the other
explanation.
official going, I like it. I like it. Like,
Yes.
what are you, what are you like,
I like the decision I made. I like it. Fresh shot clock now for Chaos. Keep an eye on Raul. Let's see if he comes back in when he gets an opportunity. These are 19-man rosters in terms of who dresses, so you don't have a whole lot of backups. You got to shift some people around when you get injuries. Gittleman, he's sharp early.
And very unlike Chaos to take that shot, low angle, stick to the outside.
Latrell Harris. Oh, that's plays weird. Nice play defensively, though, to maybe get possession back for Archers. Big scramble for it, Troy Ray. So good on the defensive end with his long pole. Troy Ray gets it back to Reardon, so a dangerous moment for Chaos. They're able to get possession and get it back to the offensive end. Dane Smith.
That's good. You reset it when Blaze had it. They never possessed it, right? So that I liked it. I liked it.
We know.
Oh, Matty Palem, character. Smith.
You know, to Ryan's point, when you saw Kyle Jackson shoot that shot with no angle, like that's Chaos's DNA is shooting in front of the cage. Like they get that look better than any team probably in the PLL. Those doorstep looks. And how do they get it? Because of the inside presence of so many of these Canadians who have the box lacrosse background and the ability to kind of use picks and slips.
For those new to the game, box lacrosse is the indoor game. Gittleman makes another save as opposed to field lacrosse, which is what we're seeing right now. And it's a much smaller field. They play it on an ice hockey rink.
They operate in tight quarters.
On turf on an ice hockey rink. The National Lacrosse League, a lot of Canadians play box lacrosse. Cloutier, he's one of them. Oh, and a hat trick for Cloutier in the first half.
That whole possession, you could hear the Archers bench. They couldn't believe that they got a reset on that previous Cloutier attempt. That low angle, they didn't think that any contact was made. Breathed new life into this Chaos offense. And Cloutier, inside roll, kind of an elongated inside roll on Ratliff, evades this trail check, and then the stick work and hand speed, multiple fakes.
McMahon was in there too, waving his stick at it.
Gittleman has
Look
no
at the
shot.
wrists.
No shot. This is a gamer too.
But where's the slide there? You got to slide with the body, and you got to come and put some contact on Cloutier.
The contact is one thing, but I was in the defensive huddle, and Tony Rush said, we got to keep Cloutier going in one direction. When we move and open up our hips defensively, and he can get down to cage, that's just a bad day to be an Archers defender.
Yeah, he uses his body. That's what he does. He uses the shoulders and slips underneath. I'll say this, Scott Ratliff's a really good defender. The two guys I've seen him struggle with now this year, Matt Rambo and Chris Cloutier. It's the physical matchups.
What a read there by Reardon. Had Amen cutting in front. Couldn't get it to him.
So one thing Archers do defensively that's counterintuitive and kind of rare, they'd rather force a guy upfield. Like Cloutier, what Tony Rush was so frustrated by was the fact that he got to roll back there. What they like to do is get under you, force you upfield, and then just ride.
And then you have the help there, too.
You have the help there, and Gittleman can see the dodger the whole time. And it's easy to hedge from up top.
8 turnovers already on the day for Archers.
But if you watch these Canadians for years and years and years, they like to get underneath.
That's exactly why Archers want to send them upfield, which is counter to everything you're taught defensively normally.
Yes, but their ability to get underneath trumps any defender trying to flush a guy because the way they use their shoulders.
Well, I think that's just a matter of execution.
There's that physical nature, right? When a guy like Cloutier is 220 and he has a defender on his heels, it's tough sailing.
That time, Jackson tried a little wraparound. He had Dominique Alexander, he got a step on him. Only 3 to shoot, and Grant Amen sends it, I should say Mac O'Keefe sent it across the field right off the cameraman's lens here in the corner. Change that out. Don't want to miss a second of the action. So Archer's ball. Okay. dislodge it from Alexander. Schreiber will slow things down. We're not going to see a whole lot of running today, are we? A lot of 6-on-6, a lot of half-field sets. Fields near side, going against Newman. Newman all over behind the back, nothing on that. No chance to beat the goaltender on that play, but harassing him behind the cage. Now we'll settle in on this end.
You know, we talk a lot about Chaos playing their best lacrosse when it matters. It's guys like Cloutier. You look at his track record at the University of North Carolina, sophomore year, 2016 MVP of championship weekend. A lot like Matt Rambo for the Whipsnakes, he loves the bright lights.
Put that team on his back.
Yes.
Much like Chaos, that was a team, that North Carolina team was a team that had to win the ACC just to get into the NCAA tournament. They end up winning it all. Chaos, as a reminder, 2-8 on the year. 8 teams in the PLL, 7 of them make the playoffs. They finished in 7th place, the last team to make the playoffs. Under 500 last year as well, and they won the championship because they get hot and they play at the right time in September. That's what they're doing this year. And they've got a 4-2 lead here today. A little haphazard play at the top. Dane Smith looking to direct traffic. 15 to shoot. Turnover before they even get a shot on goal, and now we're going to go the other way with Archers. Manning tried to get it into McNeil, or Latrell Harris, rather.
Yeah, offside. And that's a situation where you just played a lot of defense. Harris might have been there, but that's one that I think you kind of pull out, give your D a little bit of breather. They were so anxious to get upfield that it ran one extra guy over, turnover going the other way.
It brings up a good point. When you have these long defensive possessions, do you have to keep in mind, let's try and have equally long offensive possessions to give the defense a little rest?
You just got to be really selective in terms of risk-reward. Obviously, if you have a clean 4-on-3, great. If not, if it's any sort of gray area, I think that's where you kind of take it, let the air breathe a little bit.
Yeah, and the Chaos is a team offensively where everyone that doesn't have the ball is moving and working and picking, so everyone's tired on this defense.
Shot, again, doesn't get through. A lot of traffic, a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Broken stick. That's a member of the Chaos, so they've got to sub out.
Yeah, it's Josh Byrne.
It just feels like the Archers haven't been able to get into the flow at all offensively this quarter.
And maybe that's why Chris Bates is burning a timeout right here to try and figure things out.
Let Grant Amen start quarterbacking as well. I think when he runs the offense, right, and then Fields on the left dodging off of that, a little more of Amen.
4-2 our score. Chris Bates got to figure this out offensively. Chaos on top.
In 22, Jim Brown MVP award goes to Trevor Baptiste.
Thank you. Wow, like this is crazy.
That's money. That's Cash App.
And your 2022 Jim Brown MVP award goes to Trevor Baptiste.
Thank you. Wow, like this is crazy.
Trevor Baptiste awarded the MVP on Friday night. Some of the other awards. Brendan Nichtern, Rookie of the Year, had a couple you could probably choose from that list. And then what a great year it was for Nichtern and the Chrome. So Tim Sudan, Dickadell Coach of the Year.
Yeah, Nichtern gave them an instant quarterback, and playing alongside fellow rookie Tewaaraton winner Logan Wisnauskas from Maryland. That 1-2 punch, formidable for years.
Tom Schreiber, once again, the midfielder of the year. He's got that
There
on
he is.
lockdown.
There's the MVP.
Trevor Baptiste, face-off athlete of the year as well, obviously. Moore, one of the 2 goals for the Archers, but that seems like forever ago.
Good ball pressure there by Ray.
Manny trying to dodge, trying to make something happen against the shorty. Amen from X. Fields, he's been the real catalyst for this offense over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Nothing doing. Tries the backhand to Amen. Can't get anything on the shot.
This is an issue. This Archers offense, they've had 3 shots on goal this quarter. This is the best shooting team and the best offense in the league. And to Dana's point earlier, you feel the chaos physically is kind of owning the matchups, right?
Chaos takes a timeout here at the 2:15 mark. Andy Towers is going to talk things over. Let's go inside the huddle, presented by Athletic Brewing Company.
25, we can stack it with righties and go. The ball changed direction. I mean,
All right, having some mic issues. Hopefully we'll check back in with Andy Towers a little bit later.
You heard him say stack it with righties. They're such a 2-man game heavy offense where they like to play sides. He's got equal righties, equal lefties, where a lot of offenses, traditionally speaking, the American offenses will flow. He'll keep those guys on each side of the field, the lefties and the righties.
But to his credit, he's always got to his credit, he's always throwing in a couple wrinkles. What you saw last weekend in the quarterfinals is they had guys playing on their wrong sides to kind of throw the Chrome a little bit out of whack. He's always got something that the other team hasn't seen on tape yet, some sort of element of surprise.
Yeah, it's a good point. Sometimes they'll start on their weak side to end up to their strong side. I don't know. I think you gotta give Cloutier looks here, right?
Well, he certainly is feeling it. First hat trick of the year, and we're still in the first half.
Watch for kind of a pass and follow between Rogers and Byrne.
Challen Rogers here, number 23. You don't even recognize him. He got a haircut. Here's Ryan Smith.
Oof. You can't give Byrne that kind of room. He will make you pay if you give him a step down from 12.
Well, how about the pass by Smith there? I mean, how did he even get that off? Backhanded, adjacent.
Challen Rogers on the shorty.
Great lift there by Harris.
You know, with these Canadians, their backhand, basically, they use that as their offhand. Right, you saw 2 of Cloutier's goals. Ryan Smith passed that way. They are not traditional right-handed, left-handed players. They will keep it in their strong hand, and their backhand shovel passes and shots are spot on.
Final minute of play here in this first half. Can Archers draw any ever closer? Ambler. A little step on the defender. Moore came up to try and set a pick. Schreiber just dancing, can't get anything going on Costabile. Now comes back upfield. You finally do get a shot on goal. Blaze Reardon is there to make the stop.
Trailers, 2-point threats as Trailers. Still got numbers there. They threw back to Newman or Costabile.
Yeah, Costabile's upset. He wanted the ball.
Instead, McKay opting to get into his offensive player's hands. Final 15 seconds. What will Cloutier do here? Upfield on the short stick, D-Mitty. Trying to get to the middle of the field, gets a shot off, but couldn't get anything on it.
And that's exactly the look the Archers want to give up. Don't let Cloutier underneath, force him upfield, stick.
Desperation pass, tried to get it to Kyle Jackson. But it goes wanting, and just like that, we end this first half. A real defensive slugfest, if you will, to this point. Just 6 goals scored combined. Archers took the early lead, but since then it's been Blaze standing tall in goal. Chaos led by the hat trick from Chris Cloutier. They're up 4-2.
And if you're Archers, I think you, in a weird way, have got to feel good about only being down 2. Like, you played as poor of a half offensively as you have all season, and you're right there.
Dana Boyle standing by with AT.
Thanks, Cotter. Coach, Cloutier, he brought the heat. What does he do for your offense?
Say that again?
Cloutier brought the heat there in that first half. What does he do for your offense?
Listen, it's the same guy that scored 9 goals in the semifinals against Loyola in 2016 before he scored 5 of the game winner against Maryland in the championship game. This guy's ice cold in veins, steps up in the biggest moments, and here he is doing it again. No surprise to us at all.
Your defense is stepping up, one of the best shooting teams in the league, and the Archers, you're stifling them. What makes you the most proud on your defensive end?
Well, I think Coach Hanford and Coach Curtis did an unbelievable job of putting the game plan together that ideally is frustrating them a little bit. It's a great offensive team, like you said. We're only halfway done, but I think that the communication is a foundation for our success, getting us connected down there.
All right, we look forward to a second half.
Thank you.
You know, Ryan mentions if the Archers, you feel okay, only down 2, but maybe not based on that defensive game plan. To me, is all about physicality.
Andy Towers half of the way there to get back to the championship game. Won it all last year. Katie George standing by with Paul Rabel. Kieran McCardle, we'll hear from him as his Water Dogs are in the championship game next Sunday. That's coming up here at the half, so don't go anywhere. Halfway home to rounding out our championship duo. Blaze Reardon doing his thing. Archers got to figure out how to score more goals. They trail by 2 at the half.
Have a 2-point lead over the Archers. I'm hearing a lot of Paul's the GOAT chants right now from all the adoring fans that we have here outside of the concourse. I don't know. Chris Cloutier is the GOAT. Kieran McCardle may be the GOAT so far today. We're going to talk to Kieran after what was a phenomenal game between the Water Dogs and the Whipsnakes, but we've got a good one here going on behind us at the half. What did you make of the first half?
Well, I saw 3, maybe 4 SportsCenter top 10 plays. We're going to go up against the NFL and see what happens tonight. But this game is still close. It's an interesting one. The vibe of what's happening feels like it's very slanted towards chaos, but it's a one-possession game, so anything can happen. I think what we talked about last halftime, though, is what's going to happen between Blaze and Tom. Halfway through, Blaze is the clear favorite.
Yeah, Blaze has been really incredible through the first half. Let's take a look at our outperformers presented by OutSystems. Matt Moore got it going for the Archers, didn't he?
He did, and then here's Blaze. What Blaze does so well is he takes up space, and then you have Chaos's best, maybe one of the best offensive players in the world, and Josh Byrne making it look easy. But it was his line mate Chris Cloutier that went off for 3 goals, and
look
all
at that.
of them backhand. Crazy.
Incredible. So he's already got the hat trick in the first half, making it work for the Chaos.
I mean,
Falling to the ground. That's a volleyball roll, by the way.
The degree of difficulty there is just wild. And then this inside roll with poise to score on 2 goalies, not 1, 2, shows how he's feeling so far today.
Archers have not had very many shots on goal. What do you want to see from that offense to be a little bit more aggressive in the second half?
Yeah, so a couple things. They need to go to Tom Schreiber more. This is the second half of potentially the final game of the season, and he's your best player. So he needs to attack the pole. The second thing is Connor Fields. Connor Fields has a way about him over Blaze. He played with him at Albany, and he was a Chaos player. So you sense that he has a nice touch. I'd keep going back to Connor Fields.
Okay, fair enough. We'll see if that happens in the second half of this one. Let's take a look back at what happened earlier today here at Audi Field. Water Dogs and Whips. Matt Rambo, one of the very best attackmen in the world, got it going. Brad Smith from Mike Chanenchuk. You had Kieran McCardle get his first of the day. We had a lot more coming from him. Matthew Witcher, his teammate, tied it at 10-10, and then Kieran McCardle got the game winner here. This put the Water Dogs up 11-10.
That looks familiar, too.
Yeah, I have to ask. Kieran McCardle is now joining us here. Back in July, you played the Whips and gave them their only loss of the season in the regular season. You had a hat trick in the fourth quarter, just like you did today, and you scored the game winner, which was an 11-10 score. Why do you have to do the Whips like that every time you play them, Kieran?
I think that's how it works out. You know, a few of our guys went down. You know, being an offensive leader, I knew I had to step up, and guys were making great feeds. I was just open on the backside doing the easy work.
I have a question for you. So one of the most difficult things to do in sport is not to necessarily have a hot hand through the first 3, and then all of a sudden catch flames in the fourth. You've done that twice now against the Whips. What do you tell yourself going through those first 3 quarters when ball's not necessarily in your stick to stay the course?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just, you know, next play, I just think about, you know, I have a lot of game to be played and stay focused, and, you know, I know the ball's going to come to my stick, and I got to capitalize when it does.
Well, it's clear that the Water Dogs have been focused this postseason. Consistent play, discipline. Thinking about this matchup behind us, who would you rather play?
Whoever wins. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I'll keep it there.
I'll ask you more of a softball. What does it mean to you and your teammates to know that you're going to be playing in the PLL championship in a week from now?
Yeah, it means the world, honestly. You know, we lost semifinal game last year. To the same team, and we knew we were hungry and wanted to win this one, so it means everything.
Well, what's going on right now is that he's developing a nickname on the Water Dogs. Everyone's calling him the underdog. He got snubbed as an all-star, but was attackman of the year. How do you step out on the field and feel that presence now? What are your goals week to week, and what we can expect from you in the championship game?
Yeah, I mean, just work throughout the week. I mean, you know the grind, and continue to do what I do. You know, I think my teammates do a great job of finding me, and, you know, when I need to dodge and score, I'll do that, and when I need to, you know, score off ball, I can do that. So hopefully, you know, things go our way next weekend.
Michael Sauer had a hamstring injury that he tried to push through throughout the entirety of the game. We saw Mikey Schlosser go down with a knee injury. He did not return. How do you guys overcome that as you prepare for whoever you're going to face?
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. I think Mikey Sowers will, you know, take care of himself during the week and be back out there. We'll see how it goes with Schlosinger, but, you know, we overcome a lot throughout the whole season, and we're kind of used to this. So we're going to put our best foot forward and let it fly.
Back home for a quick bit and then on to Philly?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, well, safe travels. Congratulations. Incredible fourth quarter from you. We absolutely loved witnessing it. Best of luck moving forward next weekend.
Great. Thank you very much, guys.
Absolutely. All right, we've got second half action coming your way. Chaos Archers 4-2 here from DC.
my son Chlorella. We're 4-2 at the start of the third quarter. Chaos looking to get back to the championship game. Archers trying to exercise some demons. They've lost to Chaos the last 2 seasons in the playoffs. The last thing Chris Bates wants is for a hat trick in L's to Chaos, so Adam Gittleman's going to have to stand on his head in the second half. Let's take a look at our first half stats. Neither team very efficient shooting, but the Archers just 2 of 17. And you look at the shots on goal. Both goaltenders have been good. Face-offs, as you might expect, leaning toward Mad Max. There's Chris Bates. Chris Cotter, Ryan Boyle, Paul Carcaterra. I tell you what, Dana Boyle's with us as well, but Chris Bates has got to figure something out offensively.
You look at just those shots on goal. They got more turnovers than they do shots on goal. They need to see more Tom Schreiber. Matt Moore needs to win that short stick matchup like he did early in that first quarter.
Adler, he'll shoot. Pushed aside by Gittleman.
You know, as we're talking about the Archers offense, and we were talking during the break too, the lack of flow. Like, this is an offense, highest scoring offense in the league, predicated on like hyper speed ball movement, offensive players in a flow. You just don't see it today.
No, they were not in a flow at all, and I think part of that was Chaos defensively kind of winning those individual matchups. But Archers just need better off-ball movement.
I had a chance to talk with Coach Bates at halftime, and he was pretty honest with me. He said it's a 2-goal game, and we couldn't play any worse. We got to settle down on offense. We've got to calm down, and we got to manage the possessions better. We're not moving the ball well. Spacing is off.
Thanks, Dana Kark. To your point, the Archers, when we were going to break at the half, you said they're down 2 goals, but they might feel actually good that they're only down 2 goals. Could be a lot worse. Jackson down the alley, now he'll invert. Working on Latrell Harris. 2-man game with Smith. Finds a cutting player, they couldn't finish it off. That looked like Chase Frazier cutting to the goal. Couldn't handle the pass.
Amon could have hit Schreiber coming out of the box there with a full head of steam, elected not to.
And that's the beauty of him coming first, right? And you have Schreiber first.
Let's look at to see who they had caught on the defensive end. Had one offensive player, Will Manny. Better angle for Holman. Question mark, misses the mark.
Schreiber's got a short stick on him right now. They've got to go to that matchup.
Instead, Amon tries to do it himself. Can't get anything on the shot. Blaze makes the stop.
I'll say it again. It's the physicality of Chaos. Defensively, they are bringing bodies every single time. Other than Matt Moore's goal early in that first quarter, someone's on the ground after a shot.
Costabile looked like he was going to sub off. Now he comes back in. That shot is wide.
Yeah, confusion there for Archers defensively, trying to find Costabile. Meanwhile, no one picked up Rogers.
Now here's Kluche. He's got to like this matchup with Alexander, even though Alexander is a big physical player himself. Nothing on that shot. Byrne backs up, though, so it stays with Chaos. Trying for a little 2-man game. Byrne. Tried to feed it inside. Couldn't find Frazier. Nothing on that shot. These are easy saves for the goaltenders to make.
That was a great defensive possession by Hasek. Navigated the 2-man game with Byrne and then recovered back to get that check.
LeClaire from distance, right into the cross of Blaze Beard.
And you could see the frustration after that possession by Ament on just the decision making.
Holman's frustrated a little too, as you saw in the middle of the field, giving the business to Ian McKay. Now Leclerc's stuck on the defensive end, and you got Leclerc and Byrne over here.
And Leclerc has gone up and back, up and back. He's gassed right now. 44 in orange. This is a matchup you want to stick with.
Feed inside. Nothing that Jackson can do. Can't even hold on to the ball or his cross, but Byrne gets it back. Now he rolls back to his right side between the legs. That would have been it. If that one goes...
He's done it before.
That would have owned SportsCenter top 10. Instead, it's just a turnover. Check the progressive game flow on Josh Byrne's shot. Moore nowhere close to being on target. It'll stay with Archers.
Byrne's grimacing at the other end. He got hacked after that shot.
Ambler. Moore shoots. Blaze, too tough. He's a stone wall right now.
He's on a different level right now. Like, you're not going to beat him with that kind of shot.
And this is what happened to Chrome last weekend. You're kind of not playing your best lacrosse, and then like, okay, finally, now we're putting shots on net. Oh, no.
And then you start thinking as a shooter, okay, we can't solve this guy. So as a shooter, the last thing you want to do is overthink.
Bad pass. Sloppy lacrosse right now, both these teams. Stuck on 4-2. That was our halftime score. No goals from either team in 16 minutes.
How many times have you seen the ball go behind the cage for the Archers today? Hardly at all, right? And that's a reflection of lack of flow because Amen's a quarterback.
Manny, too tall. Here's Amen. Good to see Rowlett back in there after he took a shot off that took us in the first half. Schreiber getting back to the middle of the field. Trying to get a step on Newman. Does. Just can't solve. Blaze Reardon.
Two quality looks so far.
Right, Reardon got it off the side of the cage, so no shot clock reset. Manny can't handle the pass. Now he has just 8 seconds to get something off. Tough angle outside of the cage. No chance. Chaos continue to lead this game 4-2. This is the definition of winning ugly, isn't it? Smith. Back to Jackson. Dane Smith. Jackson looking to get underneath. He does and scores.
It was a 2-goal lead. Now it's 3. And when you're the team in white and you have the 2021 MVP in Blaze Reardon in net, who's playing mind games with the Archers, you give your offense some confidence. First it's Cloutier, now it's Jackson. It's a Canadian party in DC. The Chaos are rolling.
Call. Oh, okay, we got you. I hear you. It's just humid. You guys have come off the field with some cramps, but the field is dry. You're getting some love from the booth.
Oh, I am?
Yeah. He's giving you heart signs like Taylor Swift.
Money, that's Cash App.
Welcome back to the PLL on ESPN+. The Chaos lead in a pretty ugly game, but they're leading by 3 goals. It's 5-2. They face the Archers. We're here with RJ. RJ, you are a man of the kids. I like to say that, man of the kids. So you've been at every PLL game since its existence. What do you take of the play out on the field this afternoon?
The play is incredible. We've expected that after what we saw in 2019. The play, the level of competition just grows year after year. However, the scale and the enthusiasm, the type of fans, the number of fans we have out here, that's what's been that's been fun to watch increase year over year. The play's been great from the jump.
The sport is growing, and a big part of that is bringing the youth movement up. What have you seen from the fans, the little fans, little laxers I like to call them? What have you seen from them, their excitement? What have you learned?
I see the experiences that they're having at a young age. It reminds me of the games that I went to with my dad. And the fact from start to finish, when they walk in the gates of the Premier Zone, signing with players after the games as players are going to their cars, and just the incredible experience that these PLL games are able to foster for the fathers and sons, mothers and sons, and families out here. That's just such a fantastic time for what's to come for our fans down the road.
I couldn't agree. I see little girls on the side right here. They want autographs of the players, so the sport is growing. So let's look ahead to the championship game.
Yeah.
What can we expect in Philly?
Oh, well, we've already shown it with a previous championship game in Philly. The atmosphere there is unique, too, because the players are so close to the fans on the field. And yeah, man, we're gonna have fireworks in Philly.
Thanks for the time, Archers. They're picking it up, Cotter.
Yeah, they got one back there. Finally, Marcus Holman, we hear from him.
And he's their energy guy. So if anybody was going to score a goal, you kind of had the sense it was going to be Holman just because he's got these juice goals. And on top of that, an assisted goal. The first assisted goal of the entire game. Beautiful feed and cut and finish. That's signature Archers lacrosse, Clark, that we've been waiting for what? Half and a quarter?
Yeah.
Half and change?
Yeah. You mentioned assisted goals. Not only the first assisted goal today, the Archers lead the league in assists. So that's their bread and butter. That's the typical Archer type of offensive set that you want to see. A high crease goal by Marcus Holman with some juice and some energy.
Breaks a string of almost 19 minutes, a stretch of almost 19 minutes without a goal for Archers. And yet, they're only down 2 goals.
Oh, an error in the substitution game. Chaos offside.
It's a little momentum now for Archers. Holman just buried it. Over to Schreiber. They'll hit more coming out of the box. Scored the first goal of the game for Archers. Going against Glacini. Little stutter step. Now inside to Amen. Thought about firing, but backed up. Opted better.
I thought he could have right away.
More now. Inside tight quarters. Holman can't bury it.
What a stop.
I mean, Blaze just went down and robbed him, and now we're quickly with McKay the other way. He puts on the brakes.
The anticipation of Blaze Reardon and just how calm he is making these types of stops.
Progressive game flow on the left.
Look at the top hand speed and the ability to track and scout, right? Like he understands
He
all
went
the
down
tendencies.
before Holman even
He
shot
knows
that
all
ball.
the tendencies.
Right.
I want to see more dodgings for his own shot. On both of those occasions, he dodged kind of expecting to feed right off the bat. He's got to go for his own. They've got Ambler trapped on defense here.
Here's Dane Smith looking to take advantage of it. Tried to feed it to a cutter inside, nothing doing. Byrne with 10 to shoot. Kluche couldn't get anything on that shot. Here we go the other way. Now Holman was on defense. Now he's going to stay out there offensively, though you got to think he's a little gassed. Stay out there.
Good matchup for Schreiber here.
Will Manning. Here comes Moore again. 2-point shot. Reardon makes the save.
You know, we're going to have to put his play into some historical context, right? I mean, he's one of the greatest goalies of all time. When we spoke to Andy Towers, who I consider like an historian of the sport, like he knows so much about the history of the game. He said no-brainer top 5, and it'd be hard to argue with him.
Right.
In terms of what he's done for the position. You think of the greats, the Larry Quinns from Johns Hopkins, Brian Doherty from the University of Maryland, Sal Licasio from UMass. Like, those are guys that we've always kind of put on a completely different level. And now you have to start thinking Blaze Reardon deserves to be in that conversation.
What he's doing right now, I mean, this stretch that he's on is the ball pops straight up in the air. Good hustle to go after it. That's Leclerc comes out of there with it.
Can he go here? This is why they play him at defense.
He's got Smith caught on defense, and he scores!
This is why they play him at short stick defensive midfield. You look at the other guys, McNeil, Harris, Alexander, they don't have as much two-way potential. So you put Leclerc down there, you're like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Well, you're thinking when I get the ball and can go in transition, I can open up this righty hammer.
Yeah, it's the same as Connor Kirsten game 1 for the Whipsnakes. You take an offensive-minded college midfielder, and you know he's athletic enough and selfless enough to play defense, but to put in perspective, Trey Leclerc's on their extra man. I mean, he's a top 6 shooter on the team, and he's playing defense to give you those opportunities.
Back to a 1-goal game with 1:14 left to go in the third quarter. So the Archers completely off their game offensively all afternoon long. Now all of a sudden, just a point back is we're waiting to face this one off.
Terrible. All right, let's reload. Let's reload. Left hand off the line, both of you. All right, here we go. Down.
Adler and Inacio at the face-off stripe.
We go.
Clean draw here, won by Adler. They can move quickly. Instead, they opt to pull it back out. Dana, what's going on?
I'm with the goal scorer, Leclerc. How'd you get your right open there on that play?
Just pushing transition. Grant cleared through for me, and I saw the opening. I just let it rip. Went in. So we needed something pushing transition. You know, it's a big goal. It's a 1-goal game now. So we're just going to build off that juice.
Thanks for the time.
All right, thanks, Dana. Trey, Western Canadian.
Yeah, the roll actually gave him the momentum, right? He was with his left hand. When he rolled, it was like a shot put.
O'Keefe scores! With a defender draped all over him, they'll most likely wave the flag off. O'Keefe didn't need it.
When Adam Gittleman, the goalie, watches the tape of this game, he's going to say, how could I possibly made these saves?
Foul on the play, hold on the Archers. That is wiped out, all even face-off.
The deception in the lack of, like, typical scouting ability for a goalie. Like, Mac O'Keefe, when you scout him, he's a high riser, a lefty rip. But now with all these shovel shots and their ability to improv, that's been the difference in this game. There's nothing pattern-wise with these Chaos shooters.
They got 6 goals, and half of them are backhanded. How about the strength by O'Keefe to run through that hold? He's got another defender all over him, even to get that shot off.
I always say, if you don't know where it's going, the goalie doesn't, right? Like, he doesn't know he's making that move or that type of shot to the last fraction of a second.
And O'Keefe, a prolific goal scorer when he left Penn State, who was the NCAA's all-time leading goal scorer.
And that's why I tell little kids all the time, practice every trick shot possible in the backyard, because you'll get your hands to a certain level that you'll be able to pull these things off.
Margin back up to 2, final seconds of this third quarter. Dane looking for a cutter. Finds the other Smith, doesn't get through. Jackson, though, will shoot and score! That's a huge goal! 1.2 seconds left in the quarter.
Backbreaker of a goal. Your Archers, you chip away, you get this down to 1, and in the blink of an eye, you got O'Keefe and now Jackson off of a scramble play. Dane Smith kind of fed that through. Ryan Smith takes a shot, and then the ball's just kind of trickling on the ground. Jackson, quick heads up, picks up the loose change, and puts it on net before Gittleman can kind of figure out what's what.
This, to me, is scary because now you're staring at that guy with a 3-goal lead, right? Like, a late third quarter goal is one thing, but to make it 3 when you're staring at a goalie who's just playing at a totally different stratosphere,
right?
That is huge.
That horn sounds, and boy, Chris Bates knows he has his work cut out for him as he has to try and solve Blaze Reardon, the hottest goalie on the planet right now. When he's hot, he is a brick wall, and that's usually the way he is in September. Archers gotta figure it out. Got a goal from Leclerc to get it to within 1, but Kyle Jackson, his magic, extends the lead. It's 3 with 1 quarter to go for Chaos.
Same thing. Okay, last thing is, you guys like to force the ball in. We love that shit. It's very great. If not, just look through, see through. One more, it's easy. Okay, we're good like that.
Hey, remember, possessions where we utilize the full shot clock and throw in the corner are successful possessions. Do you guys understand that?
Hey, keep being smart, right? Fucking, you're busting your balls to get back and take away transition. That's fucking awesome, right?
Yep.
Keep it up.
Offensive and ground balls and the ride. That's critical for us.
Hey, Blaze has something.
Smithers, ready to get back. Listen, we're having a hard time scoring 6-on-6, right? So it's super important as we're running back that we're not just running to run. Like, you got to be aware, listen to my voice. I'm going to be that.
Hey, it's a family affair here in D.C. this weekend. Tony Resch, assistant coach for the Archers, facing his son Patrick, who's a short stick D-midi for the Chaos. So pretty cool to have them all here, family here. Mom is here too in the stands somewhere, I reckon. Probably find her. Good look at Patrick and Tony.
I had a chance to play for Tony Resch as a player, and just what an incredible technician, and also a guy that would just shoot you straight and tell you exactly what he thought, and you kind of take it in, you're like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you had to respect it.
You're
When
right.
you talk to people around the league and lacrosse in general, like they value him as one of the great defensive minds of all time.
You look at the professional level, the kind of top 10 defenses of all time, and it's like, oh, who was in charge of that group?
Tony
Resch.
Resch, yeah.
Tony Resch.
Son Patrick getting the better of that matchup today as it's a 3-goal lead for Chaos as we head into the fourth quarter. And it's, well, while it is, as much about Archer's defense as anything, their offense has got to find a way to score a lot of goals and in a hurry against Blaze Reardon. That isn't going to be easy.
This is the highest scoring offense in the league. This is what he's doing to him.
Good turnover here. Oh, picked up. Challen Rogers was able to keep possession, but now it might go back over to Archers. It does.
You wonder if you'll see LeClaire a little bit more defensively in this fourth quarter, just given his ability to get out and transition more. I also wouldn't hate seeing like Schreiber on a wing. That way, if you get the
like
face-off
that too.
win, you could go right away.
He got 1 quarter left in the season. You pull out all the stops.
More. Blaze.
This is a joke.
I mean, he's just
It's a
stopping every
joke.
shot he's facing.
Yes.
Great hustle.
Every shot he's
Possibly
on.
keep possession for Archers. Schreiber trying to dig it. He's got Costabile all over him. Now Resch comes into the mix. Fields is there. Everybody's there. No one can pick it up. Finally, Schreiber does. Back to Moore. He'll take a 2-point shot. No, he'll pass it to Ament. Extra pass. Goal! Home in second. Now it's back to a 2-goal game.
That's what we were talking about earlier. A single pass isn't beating Blaze Reardon. Multiple passes will.
Yeah, you see Moore. He winds up. Okay, is he going to shoot? Boom, the skip down to Ament. He's got a chance to turn the corner, so you got to react to that. One more to Holman. So you move Blaze. Really got 3 different shot opportunities on one play. You see Moore skip down to Ament, who throws it back upfield to increase the shooting angle. That's how you solve this netminder.
Dodgers to score are not scoring on Blaze Reardon. Like a midfield sweeping dodge is not going to work. Multiple passes, you got a chance.
Well, that plays into how Chaos are coming at them defensively. Let's limit our slides and make them Dodgers.
Mad Max continues his mastery at the face-off stripe.
You know him pretty well. Like, what can you speak about his competitive fire?
It's
Max
unbelievable.
Adler?
Like, you know, because he and I joke around a lot, but you go down to the field before the game and have a chat with him, he's focused, man. He doesn't want to joke around about anything. Talk about old times, you know, pat on the back. He's ready for war. The face-off guys are warriors. It's a unique mindset, that's for sure.
Face-off specialists, wrestlers, kickers in football, swimmers. They're all on an island.
Well,
it's a different kind of athlete.
Right, think about wrestlers. I mean, it's the same type of deal. You're going in there, it's a short time frame, and you're battling every second of the way. Cloutier gets hammered after he loses it. That's going to be a penalty, and that's going to be a costly penalty against Archers.
Why?
Ball is gone! Ball is gone!
Is that John Robbins?
Yeah, they're going to get John Robbins on a late hit here.
Fouls on Archers, 41, 1 minute. Unnecessary roughness, late hit. Ball was gone.
You're going to see Cloutier kind of goes upfield. Hasek, nice check, and then Robbins comes in.
Yeah, that's late. Yeah, the ball was out for at least a beat or two.
1 minute power play now for Chaos. The Vineyard Vines power play, and it's 9:20 left in this game. The clock is ticking.
This is the best power play unit in the PLL.
And you got to think you're taking your time on this, don't you think?
Yeah.
Just bleed that clock a little bit more.
You go up 3 with Blaze in the net. This is a critical stop for the Archers.
Why are they so good on the power play, Paul?
They'll
They're
throw
great in
like
space.
6 Canadians at you.
Yeah.
Right, who could finish anything. And the ball just moves.
They just create what little space they possibly can in tight quarters, right?
I'm sorry, 5 Canadians and the highest scorer in college lacrosse history in Mac O'Keefe. That's
right.
Why.
Who obviously plays really well with those other 5 Canadians, as we've seen. Here's Byrne up top. Inside. Dane Smith right on the doorstep. No chance for Gittleman.
They just finish all of those. You can't give Dane Smith time and room on the doorstep, Ryan.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful feed here by Byrne as they spin the ball around. We'll freeze it when it gets to the top to Byrne. But he's reading Hasek inside, freeze it right there. So he's looking at these 2 defenders. He's got McMahon and Hasek, and the lane is right between them. Dane Smith does a good job of kind of sneaking right behind McMahon and Hasek's got inside responsibilities, and then he tries to recover back.
You know, the interesting thing there, too, is it's only a step or two to find that seam and to find the better angle. It's not like a hard, aggressive cut. It's a subtle step or two.
And it looked like McMahon was taking that one step to the guy on the
that's
wing.
all it is.
That's all you needed.
Game of inches.
What's going on, Dana?
Dane, they're leaving you alone there on the crease. What's going on?
I mean, I'm not playing the greatest right now. All our offensive guys are stepping up. So when I get my chance, I have to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what I did.
How are your teammates setting you up for success there?
I mean, Josh looked off everybody and gave it to me open on the crease. I have to bury that, so it was awesome.
Heck of a goal.
Thank you.
All right, to his point, Josh looked off McMahon. One step, boom, then he had it.
Yep.
Very humble.
Yeah, he's some player.
He's playing all right.
Leads the league.
You're 8
in
minutes away
assists from the midfield.
Right, you're 8 minutes away from playing for a championship. I think he's all right. I think he's good. Schreiber, they got to make something happen here. Down 3, under 8. Schreiber tries to do it all himself. Nothing doing. Now Newman, he can't shoot. He'll back it off. Wait for the cavalry.
It's crazy to think that this team is 2-8, right? 2-8, last team in the playoffs.
And some of those 8 games that we called, they did not look very good.
No, you kept waiting for them to like turn it on at some point.
Yeah, maybe early August they'd be in playoff mode, right? They weren't.
Yeah. And they had the luxury of just Cannons were never able to kind of challenge them for that last spot.
Went all the way down to the final weekend in Seattle before they were able to salt it away. Backhand shot goes wanting.
But even then, Cannons lost, so they just
backed their way into the playoffs.
Yeah.
They really did. Mac O'Keefe, final couple of seconds on the shot clock. It'll be a violation. It's not the worst thing for Chaos at this point, though. Burn another almost minute off the clock.
And you think kind of in a vacuum, like, 3 goals, you got plenty of time. There's 6.5 minutes left, but when you only have 5 goals to speak of, right?
Yeah, hello, Blaze. You just never felt like Archers could get into a rhythm.
More does, though. That'll help. Beats Blaze on the far side, so it's back to a 2-goal disadvantage for Archers. Plenty of time.
He's got 2. He's establishing himself as a presence from the midfield. You saw him, the first goal of the game, he had a short stick on him. Well, they've continued to short stick Matt Moore. And if the Archers are gonna make a run, the most celebrated scorer in UVA history, he's gotta come to the party, down but not out.
The PLL Academy connects the best players in the world to the next generation for one-of-a-kind immersive lacrosse training. Meet, interact, and train with your favorite pro at PLL Academy events across the country. Learn more about our overnight camps, clinics, and additional offerings at premierlacrosseleague.com/academy.
Take a look at the Cash App playoff bracket. Championship game next weekend. All started last weekend. Chaos beat Chrome. Archers beat Redwoods. Water Dogs beat Atlas. Whipsnakes had the weekend off, so then they faced Water Dogs earlier today. The Dogs with a big win late to advance to the championship game, the Cash App Championship next weekend. Winner here will face them on Sunday in Philadelphia.
Second straight year, the #1 seed with a bye has been knocked out.
Bounced. That was the Water Dogs last year.
Yep.
This year, a little revenge for them as they'll play for the title. Congratulations to Andy Copeland and the bunch. Now they await their opponent, and we're 6 minutes and 30 seconds away from finding out who that is going to be. Archer's still in it. Adler's been dominant at the stripe. He's won 12 out of 17. Ignacio wins this one cleanly to himself, though. That's a good get. Blaze, no problem. You can hear that one from up here. Thump. Newman chases down the loose ball, loses it though straight up in the air. Fields with the great ride.
Yeah, that's an incredible effort by Fields.
Gets possession back to Archers. Now Amen, goal line extended back to Holman at X. Ambler. Inverted on a shorty. Looking for a little, big little. Couldn't get it to Fields. Now Fields has it. Tough angle, just too tough. Force behind the cage to Amen. Still 12 to shoot. Shriver. Shoots, couldn't get it through. Just way too much traffic in front of the net.
It didn't love the spacing there.
You know, watching the Chaos throughout the course of the summer, I thought their Achilles heel was off-ball defense for at least the first half or more of the season. They've cleaned that up dramatically. Like, credit to Jamie Hanford, the defense coordinator, figuring a way to get these guys to communicate.
That might be it right there. And a word for Gittleman from Kyle Jackson. And that's going to upset a few of the Archers, I have a feeling.
That's his third, Ryan.
And in last year's quarterfinal, he was the hero. He had 4 goals and 2 assists, filling in for an injured Chris Cloutier. And he has showed up today again. This is his 3rd of the day. But how about the look-off by Dane Smith? That little pump fake to the backside or weak side draws the defense's attention, and then Smith pumps it into Jackson, who pumps it home.
And then afterwards, he lets Gittleman hear it, the goalie. And I'll tell you what, these teams don't like each other.
No, they do not.
You know, you hear about the Archers and their offense throughout the course of the year, and they've been hearing all along, like, you can't beat Chaos. Well, guess what? You still can't beat Chaos.
Adler goes flying, no call. He's looking for one, won't get it. Ignacio instead was able to pick up the ground ball, and Bates gets a timeout. Down 3, 4:39 remaining. It's been 3-2, 3-2. They got it that one time with the LeClaire goal, got it to 1 goal, the deficit, but it's been mostly 2 or 3 goals for much of the afternoon, really. 2 goals at halftime. They haven't been able to get closer.
And 2 or 3 feels like 5 or 6 against Blaze.
Go inside the huddle. Presented by Athletic Brewing Company. Listen to Coach Bates.
Am I coming from X or the side? Ball's here. We're going to go down the side to X. Ambler, you're dodging. Right, mock dodge, lefty.
Okay. Hard here. Okay. Matt, Tom, and Matt are on the inside. Grant's up top. Who's this through?
Will.
Right, and that's Marcus,
That's Marcus.
right?
Ball side clear through from Will.
Right, comes through here.
Matt, you
Outlet
flash.
here. As it comes here, you flash. Come step it here.
Let's get
just
our
look.
timing,
Hey, make sure you get to the back pipe too.
Yeah.
Right, that might
Back
be a look.
up.
Make sure we're backing up as well. Right, Bobby, here, let's go get it.
Remember the last time they came out of a timeout, they drew something up and they got Holman free. So in terms of executing, coming out of a timeout, this team could be the best in the league in terms of their ability to go from X's and O's into on-field execution.
What's going on with Chaos, Dana?
And in the defensive huddle, it was said multiple times, no twos, you got to hedge off ball, and you got to put pressure on ball, and most importantly, watch Schreiber.
You got to watch Schreiber, but you also have to watch Matt Moore. I mean, if he gets a short stick, if this play doesn't develop, Ryan, in terms of the off-ball movement, from a dodging desperation standpoint, it's got to be Matt Moore, right?
One would think, yeah, I mean, they're trying to get the ball to Ambler, but Pat Resch did a good job pressing out there to kind of blow up this play.
So now it's Amen up top.
They got the look they wanted. That's what they drew up. Schreiber coming off of that pick.
Holman. He's got room. Off the pipe. Boy, he got a great look and just hit it off the crossbar. Look at Ray track down that ground ball. Now he's in a little bit of trouble, but we get a timeout.
Huge timeout there by Andy Towers as Ray kind of got himself in trouble after picking up a huge ground ball.
He had two. You had to use it there, and he did. That's why you save him, right? We talk about saving some timeouts. That's why.
And you can see the love for Troy Ray after tracking down that ground ball. I mean, it's what he's in there for. It's what he does in the middle of the field, and he did his job to perfection on that play. Let's go inside the huddle presented by Athletic Brewing Company and listen to
How's your energy, Bernie? How's your energy?
It's fine, man. No, we're not. There's no reason for that.
Well, the only reason I'm saying is because you can go lefty behind the goal to your strength.
I understand that, but...
Let's have Kyle. Kyle's going to get a short stick.
That's fine, too. Whoever it is, just you want to shorty on the ball, with the ball.
Yeah. KJ's going to pick it up. Fraze, you're going to be here, okay? You're going to make it look like you're going to pick, and you're going to slip to the goal like that, okay? We'll have Challen here. We'll have Dane here. We'll have Klutch here. And we got Josh here, okay? KJ, you're going to go here. You're going to attack this speed. Klutch, you're going to make it look like you're going to pick, and you're going to slip. Bernie, you're going to break out. We're going to go 25. You got him? Hey, here we go.
Hey, one thing. If Chief, we got to go.
There's like 25 things going on. I think for as big of a personality of Andy Towers is, I don't think he gets enough credit for his technique and
He's a savant, man.
He's like the kid in class that's like making all the jokes, and it's like, hey,
and then gets 100 on the
yeah,
test.
Hey, what'd you get on that? Yeah,
well, he went to Brown.
I got an A.
He went to Brown. He's thinking at a different level. You know what I love most about that, though? When he asked Josh Byrne, how's your energy?
Well, I was going to say, that's what I was going to say about that. First you heard Bates in the last timeout, and then AT on this timeout. They listen to their players. They always say, what do you want to run here? Do you want to do this? And if Josh Byrne says, why are we doing that? Then they take a step back. I love that about them. So many of their players are, by the way, coaches themselves. No reason to be in a hurry. 3-goal lead. Dane tried to get it inside, and that just didn't work. If the worst thing they do is burn 40 seconds off the clock, though, on each possession, it isn't the worst thing for Chaos at this point.
Last possession, Archers rang one off the post. Tough break. A simple pick play behind the cage, too. You would think that normally you'd be able to navigate that. But do you go back to that type of action, or do you go to this guy?
Amen. Fields up top to Schreiber. Schreiber gets it to Moore. Now back over to Amen. Now he's up top. 10 seconds to shoot. Ray all over Schreiber, not letting him have any type of an angle. Amen's going to have to let something fly. Instead, Schreiber shoots too high. Shot clock wound down. It's going to be a turnover.
And just not enough urgency in terms of going to the cage there. Felt like there was a lot of ball movement around the perimeter without somebody aggressively attacking.
Yeah, this is a matchup right now. If this was 6 weeks ago, with all the struggles the Chaos had off ball defensively, I thought the Archers could score a dozen goals easily. And now they have half. Just tells you their playoff mode, their mindset is completely different. But also their improvements they made defensively been astronomical.
Dane just burning some clock. seconds to shoot. That's a smart play by Kluche right there. And no offensive opportunities. Dump it in the corner. Set up your ride. And now Fields. It's got to be desperation mode. Get a timeout here from Coach Bates. Talk things over.
You know, we talk desperation mode. I saw something released on Instagram asking the question, is this the Archers' last run together? Right? With 1:14 left, down 3. This game isn't over, but you have to think about this team, the way it's built, how many veterans they have.
You look at it, and about half of their roster, as they're currently constructed, has been together since the start of the league. And if you come up empty again this year, it begs the question of what are the personnel changes, especially if you look at offensively. If you're only going to put up 6, that's the first place to start.
It's an interesting league. If you're new to the league, it's 8 teams. It's a barnstorming model, so every team is not assigned to a city or a town like we see in just about every other professional sports league in this country. And you think about it too, Clark, all the great players at every year, all the All-Americans coming out of college, there's only room for 19 players
there's
times
a
8.
small handful of college players that could make the jump, right? That's how competitive this league is. It's a tour-based league that goes around the country with the top players in the world. And every single weekend, I will tell you, we've been gifted with incredible lacrosse.
And if you're the worst face-off man in the league, you're the 8th best face-off man in the world.
Well, you look at Trey LeClaire, he played attack at Ohio State. He's playing short stick D-midi.
Because a lot of these veterans who take care of themselves and become smarter and stronger. I mean, your physical prime is your mid-20s. And these guys who committed themselves completely to the sport of lacrosse, they're at their peak at 25, 28 years old. There's no spots for these young guys unless you are elite.
They try to sneak over Ratliff for a 2. Rowlett kind of sniffed that out.
Schreiber now going to have to make something happen on his own. He wants to shoot for 2, but Ray's all over him. Instead, it's Fields. Can he come up field? No, Newman all over him. Moore will shoot from 2, not even close. Behind the back score from Schreiber. That's unbelievable at the 46.5-second mark, closing the gap to 2.
They got a chance. This is a big goal to cut it to a 1-possession lead. When they hunted Ratliff off the midfield line, it created some space, and Schreiber throws it down the field, throws back to Moore. Glacini actually blocks that, and Schreiber picks up the loose ball. And behind the back, why not? Increase your shooting angle. Highlight reel worthy play. And Schreiber gives them a chance.
Yeah, this is a legend right here.
Yeah.
First ballot Hall of Famer,
No
one of
doubt.
the best midfielders ever. Tom Schreiber has raised the bar in the current game from a midfielder perspective.
Tom Schreiber, be your own champion. Brought to you by Champion. Outfitters of the PLL. Ignacio, now we get a whistle. Thought he was going to win that faceoff.
Yeah, they held him.
Instead,
You
it's a
saw
hold.
him almost trip out of that escape.
So now with the shot clock, or the game clock, under the shot clock, under 52 seconds, you could just run out this clock. So you've got to pressure ball here if you're Archers.
And I would say, if you're Chaos, and there's like 10 seconds left and you're being double teamed, I say this all the time, people sometimes think it's crazy. I chuck the ball up as high as possible in my own offensive zone, rather than let them get a cause turnover and flush the ball out the other side.
Because then at least you're giving yourself a chance and your teammates a chance to be able to pick up that loose ball.
Now, where the ball is located, it's hard in terms of double team potential, because then you can just throw it in the net, so you can't really leave an empty net. And I think the other thing you got to think about if you're Archers is, do you put some offensive personnel on the field? Do you put Tommy Schreiber out there on defense now, so if you do cause a turnover, you can push?
And the flip side of that is, if you're Chaos, you got to put in some defenders.
Yeah.
2 things if you're Chaos. Put in some defenders, because if you do lose the ball, you have the right personnel to defend. The second thing is, get the ball behind the cages as best as you can, because if you turn the ball over there, They're looking at 80 yards to get upfield.
A 2-point goal will tie things for Archers, but first things first, they got to get possession. And there's no shot clock now with just 42 seconds to play. The shot clock is 52, so they're turning that off.
Yeah, you see they put Troy Ray up there.
They got
right.
It's a long stick who could handle.
They've got Collins and Hasek on ball. Gittleman's kind of hunting back and forth.
Throw right to Dane in the corner. Dane has to flush out more to the corner to get Gittleman away from jumping.
There isn't an Archer player anywhere near him.
This is too easy.
You can
Dane's
that's
right
exactly
there. That's
what
too
they're
easy.
doing.
That's way too easy. Now you have the ball behind the cage against a goalie. Dane's just gotta operate.
Hasek's trying to get to him. Frazier couldn't handle the pass, and it's a turnover. It couldn't have gone any better for Archers. Under 30.
So they're subbing off. You got to hit Schreiber. You got to go.
Schreiber has it. Schreiber shoots with his left, but he can't find it. Is it in? No.
It's in his pants.
It's in his pants. It's in his shorts. Blaze couldn't find it. He's stopping every shot every way possible. It went up into his shorts, and he couldn't find it. It was behind him, but it was in his shorts. You cannot beat this guy. Unbelievable.
We got a challenge flag. I think they're trying to challenge the play. Horns were blowing.
Whistles blowing.
Batesy, you're challenging the ball went in? Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
Didn't though. It went in his pants.
No timeouts. Batesy, you can't challenge. You don't have a timeout. Okay.
All right, so that's the rule.
You can't challenge because there's no.
If you lose the challenge, you lose a
They can't
timeout, but if you don't
challenge,
have a
they
timeout. Let's look.
This is crazy. You got to look at his pants. Are his pants past the goal line? That's the question.
No,
the
not
ball
there.
never gets there.
Nope.
You can see Rowlett.
Stuck in the equipment.
It's like Rowlett is sliding to hide the camera, too.
Pointed
Don't let
to
anybody
it.
see
Look
it.
at that.
That's when you want to pull it up and get a clock on that. And I need a shot clock on that as well. Stand by on a reset. Stand by on a reset of the time.
All right, here's Matty Palin looking at the replay.
Let's just take care of one
You
thing
heard
at a time.
Seth
We'll get
Tierney's
it right.
voice.
No shot clock.
All right, so
The shot clock is going to be nullified to begin with because we're
it's going to be all right. It's good. We killed it at 9.8. Okay, stuck in the goalie's equipment. Chaos ball. Lateral.
Hey, Matty.
9.8.
You can review it.
You can do an official review if you want. Do you feel good about the call? You want to look at it again in the last 15 seconds?
Official review.
Actually, I'll announce it. Batesy, I can review it because we're in the last 15 seconds. The Archers challenged the last shot that it was a goal. Although no timeouts, they are able to challenge in the last 15 seconds of the game. Officials can challenge, and I'm going to take a look.
Thank you, Matty. So I want to listen to what Matty has to say. You heard Seth Tierney, the head of competition. AT can't believe it, but those are the rules. The final 15 seconds.
The rules are you could never challenge without a timeout. An official can jump and kind of trump that whole situation and make a challenge.
Yes, and he was saying we're going to do an official's review. I think the way he phrased
Yes,
that
made
was,
you think because of the Archers.
We'll take one more look at it here. You can't see it because of that angle bounce up into his shorts, but it's in his left leg.
Yeah, just look at his left. Look at his left arm. His left arm is nowhere near the goal line. This isn't even close. Yeah, he's pointed to it.
Rowlett is saying it's right there. It's not in the goal. It's in his shorts.
Ball never surfaces. Stuck in his equipment from the original shot.
So there,
We got no goal.
we think it's in
gonna
his
be
shorts. We don't see it.
9.8. 9.8 on the clock. Chaos ball, lateral outside their arc.
That's his Derek Smalls moment from Spinal Tap.
Say that again. No, because it can be an official's review. That's my review. We're good.
Don't get comfortable there, Matty. We got 9.8 seconds left to go. Here he comes. All right, official review. We'll get the word from Matty
He
Palin
never,
now.
it was up his shorts. I mean, he never even handled it. After further review, no goal. It's going to be chaos ball, lateral outside the arc with 9.8 seconds left.
9.8 seconds, Chaos ball.
Yeah, this wasn't even close because he didn't even fall back in the net. Like, if he fell back in the net and was behind the goal line with it stuck in his pants or his shorts, then it would possibly be an issue. Then you'd have to kind of decipher where the ball was. Not even a factor.
Right. No chance. Now Patrick Resch just running for his life, gets rid of it. That's going to do it. Horn sounds once again. Chaos. The improbable run continues. 2-8 in the regular season. Second to last place. The last playoff team backing their way into the playoffs. Coach Towers doesn't care. All he cares about is the way his team plays in September, and they play beautifully. Won a championship last year. They'll play for a championship this year, Sunday in Philadelphia against the Water Dogs.
And for Archer